Hi everyone, this is Ervin from ESCBubble, and I'm joined by Kurt Calleja. Kurt, how are you doing?
How are you doing? I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you very much. First of all, let's just go back to Baku. You already represented Malta in Eurovision
Yes.
with This Is the Night, and I have to tell you, I was in the audience and I was surrounded by Maltese people,
All right.
and
Okay.
Malta hasn't passed to the final for 2 years. When your name, or actually when Malta was announced, I've never seen people jump higher in the audience.
All right.
How was it for you?
Yeah, yeah. That was a very good time. It was when you look back on a childhood dream. My childhood dream, and then getting getting chosen to represent Malta, to wave the Maltese flag in Baku, to perform a song that I love, and then to actually be the first to make it to the finals since the introduction of the whole semifinals was a huge milestone in my career and has paved the way for the following 13 years.
What have you been doing these 13 years?
Well, how long do we have?
I got some time.
I mean, after I came back from Eurovision, I got a bit of a hero's welcome because,
Deserved.
made it to the final was a great result back then. Still is now, obviously. We had a lot of concerts with the band. I put together a band. I released new material. I mean, it's been quite an adventure.
Mhm,
We've performed in many concerts. I opened for Loreen once,
mhm,
that very same summer of Eurovision. I mean, I did quite a number of Eurovision parties over the
mhm,
years, and I've traveled all over Europe. I traveled to Malaysia. I had a tour in Lithuania.
mhm,
I was the frontman of a musical for like a whole summer in 2016.
mhm.
I had my own TV show between 2017 and 18. And then during COVID, I had there's this competition in Malta called Musica Musica,
Mhm.
and I won the second edition, and
Congrats.
so it was exactly 10 years after
Mhm.
with This Is the Night. And these last 3 years have been quite an adventure. My band and I have performed in some really nice events. We opened up for Hathaway, we opened for Anastasia, um, we opened for an Italian artist called Marco Mazzini. It's been good, roughly releasing at least one single a year, enjoying a couple of songs on the Maltese top 10.
Mhm.
So it's been lots of ups and downs, lots of challenges, but yeah, I mean, it's
You
been
kept busy.
I kept busy. That's the right word.
Now, there was a slight confusion last year when they announced the list of participants in Malta Eurovision, as there was another Kurt Calleja. And I remember
Yes.
you posting on social media, guys, this isn't me.
Yeah.
Was that sort of like a motivation that, like, did you think, like, maybe I should come back next year? Or,
So what happened? Two things happened at the same time. For these last couple of years, I've had a lot of fake profiles happening.
okay.
People doing fake profiles on my name, and I was like, is it possible that maybe one of these fake profiles, the person behind the fake profile, like submitted a song with my name? And I'm like, what's going on here? And then I realized, no, it's an actual person. Like his name is Kurt Calleja as well. My team reached out to his team
Mhm,
last year to suggest perhaps, changing the stage name,
mhm.
because it didn't make sense to have that name, even for the confusion alone. It's not good on him. It's not good on me. Blah blah blah. But he decided to keep the name. Obviously,
Mhm.
I can't tell him to not use his personal name as his
Obviously.
name, and that was history. But the truth is that when he made it through last year, I received so many messages. I was like, "Whoa, maybe the universe is trying to tell me something here." But I didn't think much of it. And when I
Mhm,
was writing Aziza, when my team and I were writing Aziza, we didn't plan on submitting it for Eurovision. Really,
mhm,
we were writing it, and it was going to be my summer hit for release for this year for
mhm.
2025. And kind of when we finished it, at the same time, there were the submission deadlines of Eurovision, and I don't know, it felt like it had Eurovision-y recipe,
Mhm.
you know, a catchy tune, disco beat, you know, something that we can play along with the words, you know, Aziza and all that. So we said, why not? You know, it's good fun to be back on the Eurovision stage after all this time.
Tell me more about the message behind Aziza.
Okay, so the way it started is Aziza in Maltese means dear one.
Mhm.
You know, so when someone is very dear to you in Maltese, we call them Aziz or Aziza. Um, uh, and I have this habit of whenever I call someone up, I say, "Hey Aziz" or "Hey Aziza." You know, it's like when someone says, "Hey mate" or "Hey,"
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, I think a lot of people know that about me, so it's like Kurt, you know, addresses whenever he calls someone, he addresses Aziz, etc. So I thought maybe it would be cool to start off with that, and then the message of the song sort of was built on two people who have an attraction towards each other, who
Mhm.
are pulled towards each other. However, their circumstances are not ideal. You know, you get
Okay.
people who are not yet accepting of their feelings. Maybe they feel like their society is not going to accept them for who they are, so they pretend to be in a relationship with someone that fits the, you know, the stereotype or the norm a bit more. Um, uh, but somehow, even though through all of this, they still feel that pull towards that one particular person
Mhm.
who brings them closer to their truth, you know?
How do you plan to stage this song? And what can we
But
expect from your performance?
from what I can reveal, um, the performance is a bit different to what people are used to me doing.
Okay.
So when we did the first time I entered Eurovision was a year before I won
Mhm.
with my song Over and Over, and that performance was with a band. This is the night was a band performance. However, we were moving and it was a choreographed band. When I did Musica Musica, it was just me singing with the orchestra. So this is going to be, for me, very different. I am going to be joined with dancers.
Mhm.
And Warren, who was with me in Eurovision in 2012, the DJ guy,
Mhm.
he is going to be on stage with me. He is the main choreographer
Okay.
of the performance. We are working with very talented dancers. Three are Maltese, and one of them is Spanish. Um, we have a light prop that
Okay.
is interesting, and I built it myself personally. So that is for me. It's an interesting. It was an interesting challenge. Um, uh, the outfits are very in at the moment. Very designer, very
Mhm.
fashionable, very fashion forward. We're looking forward to have, you know, a nice choreographed performance, a moment to interact with the audience, um, uh, and an opportunity to have a good time.
Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be very different to what you're used to, so we're definitely going to be looking out to see how it actually is going to look on stage during the semifinals.
Thank you.
And what's going to be next for you after Malta Eurovision and after, well, hopefully Eurovision again?
So at the moment, my life is at standstill, depending on what happens at
Hmm.
Eurovision. Right, the plans that I have already made are after May.
Hmm.
So I've kept the next 3 months relatively flexible, just in case.
Yeah.
You know.
You never
Uh,
know.
you know. So yeah, so this summer we have a lot of performances with the band. Obviously, Aziza will be a new song on our set list. Performing it live with the band is going to be really fun. Later on in the year, I'm going to be in another musical. It's the first time in 9 years that I'm going to be doing
Okay.
it again. And hopefully, at the end of the year, we'll do the second concert, the second version of last year. I did a concert that sort of was a tribute to Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and all that. And it was with a live 40-piece orchestra.
Mhm.
And so it was a huge success. And this year seems like we're going to be doing it again because the feedback was so great.
Thank you very much, Kurt, for your time. I wish you the very best of luck in Malta Eurovision, and who knows, we
Thank you.
might see you in Switzerland as well.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Thank you very much for having me on the show. I would really like to take the opportunity to send my heartfelt, thanks to all the Eurovision fans over the years who have messaged, who have sent their love, and have invited me to perform here and there. I really would love to continue having this relationship with the Eurovision fans because the Eurovision fans are the best.